I'm Chris Holmes with Marin Bikes, and I'm here with the all-new Wolf Ridge. So the Wolf Ridge is a culmination of just about 5 years in development. We worked with technology provider Nailed to introduce the Wolf Ridge using Nailed's React 2-Play suspension system. Now what the system does is it effectively separates pedaling forces from suspension forces by means of a really unique suspension system here. What we wanted to do is we wanted to develop a bike that would speak to the most riders, everything from cross-country trail to enduro. So what the Wolf Ridge is, it's a 29er full suspension bike with 160 millimeters of travel, but it's also a bike where the travel doesn't define the category. Now, some people may see 160 millimeter travel 29er and think, wow, that's a really big bike. That's not a bike for me. I'm more of a cross-country rider. This bike is actually a great bike for that rider. Now what it is the system here has the rear suspension running on a slider. It's a modified 4-bar linkage system where the rear suspension is on a 43 millimeter slider. So as you go through the 160 millimeters of wheel travel, it moves about 40 millimeters on the slider itself. The suspension system is so effective that we don't need to use any lockouts or platform damping. If you notice here, this Fox suspension has no lockout lever. It's a custom build from Fox, and also the tune that is on here is their lightest tune. We also run these with the compression rebound damping, only 1 click in, so very minimal amount of damping. Now what this allows the rider to do is to climb as if you're riding on a hardtail. The bike is super efficient, but yet the suspension remains open and active. So if you're going up a fire road and you come across a rough section, it just sucks it right up and it doesn't slow you down. There are 3 different Wolf Ridge builds, and they start with the Wolf Ridge 8, which is a GX build, Stan's rims on it, and a Lyric RC fork, and a Monarch Debonair rear shock. Move up to the Wolf Ridge 9, and you gain a Lyric RCT3 and a SRAM XO1 drivetrain, along with Stan's no-tube wheel set. The Wolf Ridge Pro, the top of the line model, features a Fox 34 fork and the X2 shock that you saw in this demo sample here, along with an XX1 drivetrain and E13 carbon wheels. They're all really beautiful builds. They all utilize the same frame, carbon front and rear ends. And they also do incorporate what we call our biometric geometry. And what this geometry does is it centers the mass of the rider in the bike to optimize the suspension performance. As part of that, the KS seat post is a custom build with an 18 millimeter offset. So all bikes include that same dropper post. It's 150 millimeter travel on all sizes aside from the small, which uses 120 millimeters of travel. The Wolf Ridges are in production now and will be available later this summer from your Marin dealer and distributor.
Thank you for explaining, Chris.
All right, thank you.